Good morning, sports fans. How's everybody doing today? It's Big Chonis here. Did an impromptu live stream about 2 a.m. this morning, and we are looking at, once again, this pretty incredible move here we had in Bitcoin's price action. And I want to go over a bunch of indicators and talk about where I expect to find support and where we may be going from here, as we definitely have this very nice move. Can't really argue with that. The price action of Bitcoin. So good morning to my East Coast friends here. It is 8:30 East Coast US of A. Checking in on some pretty hot Bitcoin price action. Now I want to just start with our 5-minute chart here and kind of go back to what was this, about 12 hours ago? Was it? We were at 1 a.m. there, so about 7 hours ago. Where we really weren't seeing the volume spike yet, but we're definitely seeing Bitcoin's move here begin to take acceleration as we're getting higher into and closing in on the 4,200 area. Now the 4,200 area was a very interesting area we were watching because, can I go all the way back here? There we go. I guess I got to go to the hourly chart here to get them both into play, because this 4188 resistance area back here, which brought a lot of bearishness in this move here when the 4180s was touched. As soon as that was broken through, kind of the floodgates came open, and we saw just immense volume come in. I want to go back to my 5-minute here and just boom. The initial the initial volume was actually the one that was the highest 5-minute volume candle that brought our price action from 4188 and blasted through that all the way to $4,300. Now when that happened, what happened is all the shorts that were basically positioned at this resistance area. Remember, the $4,100 area was significant resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4 previous times. So those that were shorting resistance here for the 5th time, once this broke through, they were forced to cover their shorts, and by doing so, they had to buy Bitcoin. So they end up going long, market buying basically Bitcoin, and shooting up the price past, let's face it, past all of our EMAs, past all of our short-term MAs, past our Bollinger Bands, past our nearest areas of resistance, and shot up into this void, and just about a hair below kind of this support area right here, about $5,200. Now the reason that this was able to shoot up so quickly here, I'm on my 4-hour, but we go back to 2017 here, and we see this area. Let me get rid of this guy for just a second here, and let me pull up this. So this area between basically $4,400 and $5,200 is free air. We have 1, 2, and now 3 occurrences where if you break through bullishly 4,400, you can very quickly get to 5,200, and if you break bearishly 5,200, you get very quickly to $4,400. So this is a window where the price can move very, very, very quickly. And it did just that, punching up there. Now, a couple things we want to talk about as to why Bitcoin currently, I say currently, has found this resistance right here at the $5,200 area. Now, we denote that this area has been acted as support. I mean, look at this candle right here. It found major support at the $5,200 area there before continuing higher. We found support here around $5,200. When we were breaking bearish here, bounced up to 56 and then fell straight through that, and now once again there as well. Now we talk about measured moves, so we have, I guess now we can kind of confirm the formation of this inverse H&S here, and a measured move from our neckline to our headline right there. And we extend that from the break of our neckline puts us literally exactly at the extension of our head and shoulders here. So this move, and let me bring this guy down here to show that it was literally the neckline to the head measured to the neckline break has brought us exactly where we are finding that resistance. So we can kind of call this a completed inverted head and shoulders, with the move being officially completed there. Now what also is interesting, and let me get rid of these for just a moment here, is the fact that we did find a very interesting extension here of our initial impulsive wave, pulling back from 4,200 to 3,300, and then blasting up to a 1.618 extension of said move. Let's get really accurate here because it literally hit it to almost the penny. I want to get like right on the dime. That's good. That's good. And this can go just a little higher right there. So look at that. We hit the 1618 extension of our initial impulsive wave to the penny of resistance where we are currently wicked out at 51.31 there. So again, a very notable move and a notable run to this Fibonacci extension of our original impulsive wave there at we found on our current bottom of $3,100. So this is where we are finding the resistance currently, and this is why we are finding the resistance currently. We have our 161 extension, we have our measured move from our inverse head and shoulders, and then on the higher time frame here we can see that this area around 5100 has acted in the previous bull run, right, as resistance, back tested as support, and then the continuation here. A lot of history here in that $5,100 to $5,200 zone, and that's where we find ourselves right now. So let's go back to the 15-minute. Gonna go back here. Let's hide that, and I want to pull up my EMA 12, my EMA 26, and we are finally seeing EMA 12 support on the 15-minute chart exponential, okay, as we're flagging out here and using that as support. Now on the hourly, you can see we have yet to hit our EMA 12 because there's a lot of momentum still left to follow here. And we also note the rejection wick we had on this hourly several hours ago. That was our initial top off and closed, about, well, almost $400 lower. So this wick here of Bitcoin price action brought the price down. Look, about 8% move. Yeah, almost a 7% move there. And now we are still about maybe 6% so far off our current high of the day. So still flagging here, but only on the 15-minute have we found exponential support. The hourly is still around $4,600 untouched as support yet. And because of the extent of this move here, kind of the longer we're able to go sideways and find these EMA supports, the stronger potentially that continuation can be. Now this move, and I'll go to my 4-hour here, has, topped off, tremendously. Our, RSI 4-hour 94 have not been up to the 94 area in quite a while. Basically, July 18, we were at 90. So this is our highest RSI in quite a while here of price action. I mean, we have not had a 4-hour this high for just a tremendous amount of time there. We can go to our 6-hour. We still see we're over 90 on our 6-hour. Our 12-hour, we're over 90 on our 12-hour. And we also note that our 90 on our 12-hour consistently finds resistance and resistance when it gets up to that area. Now our daily, which is kind of our most important here, we're at 86. still lower than where we have been able to achieve on these bullish moves here, RSI wise. We got up to 94 on our initial pump there back in December. So we're still finding very high RSIs, you know, up to the daily chart there. And for that just to be that high, you know, these are things where, wow, are we really that strong, or is this something that really needs to cool off here? Because I'm sure, you know, our stochastics are just as high as well. Now I want to go to my daily here, and I want to talk about the on balance volume and how much of a key indicator this was over the past couple weeks here, as we were seeing this range and putting in these higher highs, as Bitcoin was basically unable to be put those in yet. So basically we were putting these higher highs in the OBV while Bitcoin price action hadn't broken that higher high until this major move here. And you see how strong and how strong currently our OBV is. Now notice that where we have found this resistance currently, right here, and I'll mark this red, we actually did break above it there, so really it's not really resistance yet. Remember, we're only in intraday here. Right here was our last touch in October that we actually found OBV support. So you could argue that this is back testing that area, and now I actually have to move this here and that there because we blasted through this little area of resistance, now acting as support. And so this has been very strong, putting in those higher highs, and was kind of a tell that Bitcoin was actually extremely strong here and looking to make that extension leg higher. Now this OBV almost marks what Bitcoin price action should look like if it's retesting that 6K area there. So OBV is saying that this thing is still very strong. A lot of people have loaded you know, Bitcoin in this move and held that. We see, look at that dollar volume here. This is our total dollar volume. Look at this spike. We have not seen a daily spike like this since, again, back when we had our December you know, current bottoming volume there. And since we have almost 11 hours left in the day, this is probably definitely going to surpass that kind of a money flow volume we had back then. So quite a lot of money just kind of flew into Bitcoin there. Listen, OBV oscillator shot through the roof there. Remember, we're on day 44 here of this bullish move here, and this move has put in these higher highs, pretty consistent with this you know, very bullish move here we have in the price action of Bitcoin. So I want to go to a couple higher time frame charts here. Just give me 1 second here. And I want to check out our weekly chart here. And just focus on some of these higher time frames for now. Now, EMA 12, Bitcoin found support on our EMA 12, blasted through that, blasted through our EMA 26 here on the weekly, blasted through our upper Bollinger, which wasn't very you know, far away from our middle BB after we actually were able to close above it and open above it on last week's candle. And even though we're on a Tuesday here, we're almost putting in a similar dollar volume than we've done over the past several weeks. So this will definitely be a much higher volume week, as we still have about 4 days left to go in this thing, and will probably take us somewhere closer to this volume candle here. As we are in our seventh bullish week of Bitcoin's price action here. Now, thusly, our RSI on our weekly has blown past, very past all our areas of previous resistance or support turn resistance, and just blasted all through this area here we were in July, June. So our weekly RSI is more bullish than when we were Bitcoin, you know, 7,000, 6,000, back to 7,000 areas all through last summer there. So very impressive move here in the RSI. putting in these higher highs than we have seen, and the highest high than we have seen since basically a year ago, March of 2018. Our weekly stochastic still is completely topped off at our 0 there, and I have a little alert here when this begins to break, when the blue leading indicator actually begins to fall below. Will be our first alert, potentially a more meaningful correction, because this thing went from bottom to top. It's been pegged on top in a way we have not seen for a very long time, and we can be up here again in our both top off area for a couple weeks, because we already have been up here for a couple weeks in this move here. You know, this is basically all of March. This guy has been completely topped off. MACD has been very strong here. We're seeing the spread now much more precipitously, and again, our blue leading indicator is getting closer to our area of previous resistance now on this current back test. TDI here. So this is what I talked about late last night, about how our red trailing indicator, I actually want to see resistance here. If it can touch our middle BB on the weekly chart here. We saw that the green leading had a little pause here before it shot right through, and I want to see that as well, because on the daily, our TDI here, okay, I'm looking for the resistance of our upper BB on our red indicator there, and we see that consistently where the red indicator does not like to break the upper BB for very much than just a little hair there. Okay, so there's still a little bullish momentum left in this if our red indicator does want to touch our upper Bollinger there. Otherwise, still very spread here, and finally spreading out the BBs on that chart there. So weekly obviously showing very strong, breaking through there, and breaking through because of the very tightness we had in our Bollinger spectrum. And I was talking about past couple shows about how our tightness in our weekly Bollinger is very similar to what we had seen you know, several back right around our 6K drop here. We were actually tighter in our weeklies, and the same spacing suggested that the volatility move here was going to be very soon because of how tight we were on our weekly Bollingers. Now, we're only like, what, 2 days? It's only April 2nd. Okay, so look at this. This is April. This is our monthly candle. It's 2 days old, and it's basically surpassed last month's candle and almost the previous month's candle in terms of price action. Now, notably, it has wicked out right at EMA 12. And the last time we touched our EMA 12, which coincided with this middle Bollinger cross here, was also the area where Bitcoin found very strong resistance and wicked out. So that's something very clean of a rejection that is still holding on our highest of time frames, our monthly chart, EMA 12 resistance. And then there's that back test one more time there, EMA 12 resistance. Now, ideally, the bulls would love to see these guys cross in the next couple of months here. EMA 12, EMA 26 are still very close together after being separated so far away when we had our bullish move here. And these are still in a, these still haven't bear crossed yet, which is kind of interesting here. We are still in a bullish formation here of our EMA 12s on the highest of time frames we have here on a monthly chart. But as close as we are now, seeing that confluence of resistance between, you know, 4,900 and a shade over 5K there. So 2 days into our monthly chart, just a tremendous move here all around, obviously. So let's go back to our 4-hour chart. And just you see how high we are here from our EMAs, our local EMAs here. We see how high we are here above our upper Bollinger. I call that inside 1, 2. So third 4-hour candle. Still most of this candle left to go, and still above our upper BB on a very spread Bollingers that were very tight for such a long time there. Now, what happened to the shorts in this move here was pretty interesting, because let's face it, they were leveraged, but they weren't like crazy leverage. They were loading just for 3 days, or just for the last week or so, Oh, that's a few days of March, right? March 29th was our bottom there of our initial shorts. There was loading shorts from the 29th, 30th, 31st, April 1st, and then April 2nd. And then all these shorties here, boom, got liquidated in basically 1 4-hour candle there. And it was like $500 million of shorts got liquidated on MEX. So because of that move, that when you have to cover your short positions, you have to basically market buy Bitcoin and go long it. And that's where you got that accelerated buying pressure combined with the break of the $4,200 resistance. So we have the break of the $4,200 resistance kind of being our initial step on the gas. And then this was our nitrous pump that pushed that incredible amount of money into Bitcoin's price action because of all those shorts having to cover the shorts that have basically been loading up through the end of March there, and they had to just cover that thing. So this is basically what we're looking at right now, and this is what we want to see as we progress in the week here, because here's what's so interesting. To have a break like this, this quickly in the month, okay, and this early in the week is definitely something that is kind of very unprecedented and kind of a hard move to kind of factor in here, because what we're looking at here is we have the entire month now to build on this candle. We have the entire week to build on this insane candle here. And what this can do is this can actually this can end the week very bad still. I mean, that's the thing. We have 4 more days left, and we could create, a ridiculously massive upper wick candle here. Or we can hold the bullishness, which really needs to hold. This is where I'm kind of bringing in my moving averages. Really needs to hold the MA 200 as that support there. So what am I talking about here? So we were targeting, as we were holding our 50 and our 100 on our daily chart, we were targeting to see if Bitcoin could find a resistance at MA 200. Not only did it find very little there, it just blasted right through that. So finding support on the MA 200 right around $4,600 would be clearly an ideal area to back test and to keep the bullish momentum alive. That also area coincides right around $4,600 here with when we broke bearish from 6K. A very good clean initial area of support right there, turn resistance right there. So this resistance area here and here, between, I really want to stay above $4,500, or else we're talking about almost a $600 wick on this weekly candle here, which would be significant. We don't want to fall below 50% of the daily candle nor the weekly candle on any kind of a pullback. Ideally, you want to keep above that 50% retracement area. So any retrace, I'd want to have that $4,600 area to hold. Now, the expansion of this, let's kind of talk about like how much higher we can go here. So we talked about our extension of our 1618 extension, 5131 there. And just to clarify, make sure we're all on the same page here. What I mean by a 1618 extension is we have our first move here from $3,150 to $4,273 here. The extension of that move found support at 33.56 and then started to run bullishly again. So in a comparison of this impulsive move to this next impulsive move from that local support, it has run more than 1.618 times the initial move there. And that does qualify, if we want to argue of a larger 5-wave structure here, as a very clean wave 3 here, if you will. Now, another push higher could take us to the 1786 extension of said move there, which would be around the $5,300 area, and that would actually correspond to these support wicks here back we had in mid-November that became resistance. So this was our cluster of price action that we were watching if the area around $4,200 to $4,400 was being able to broke through. And surely enough here, we are still under that area of locally untested area of price action. I would have liked to have wicked out at this wick here, 51.97. We didn't get as high, 51.21 there, but definitely in the area of this cluster with a little bit more running room to get us to 53s and potentially actually testing this area of resistance here. Now the VPVR, let's bring this guy up, okay, basically shows this window of price action that we're talking about. We have so much history now between the $3,800 to $4,200 range here. Okay, once we broke through 43.50, we see how high we got to move because of how little price action volume is in these windows here. Now these windows, look how high it takes us. It can take us as high as $5,700, maybe $5,800 here, corresponding with this area of support here back in 2017, and of course this cluster here. So this window remains the reason why we can still go higher before we hit that next area of resistance. So that's our narrative to still climb into a little bit higher into the 5Ks there, and it'd be incredible, I think, for Bitcoin or a bullish standpoint to actually be able to close above that 5K area, which would definitely be quite interesting. It's something we have not done for, at least let's call it, this year. So who's in the chat room today? Marvin D, Dave Mills, Crypto Maximizer, Claiborne Taylor, B7 Oaks, Jay Stroud, one of my friend James Ashmore, hello buddy, Earl Schleilman, let's see, Anis Sobali, Sobe, Tiro Demota, Jeanette Crypto, hello my old friend Hugo, Random Ass Socks, SS Swartz, Knox Zero, Manny Alvarez, Cole Wheeler, what's up to you? 113 of my closest friends watching me live here. Remember to hit that thumbs up button and hit that subscribe button, and please feel free to follow me on Twitter, and remember, follow me on YouTube as well. Guys, we just had a tremendous move here in our price action of Bitcoin, and let's keep these into perspective. We saw a lot of money get sucked out of the altcoins in terms of the BTC pairings. However, a lot of the majors, you could argue, are actually running with Bitcoin here. Bcash, hovering a little bit below $200 here, in this just continuation of a very strong move here. Litecoin a hair under $70 here. We're actually seeing this continuation almost a little bit stronger in some of these coins from a percentage standpoint there. And I wanted to talk about Ethereum here. Still trying to retest this area. It's funny, look at the ETH chart. It's very similar to Bitcoin in that the neckline of a 150, 160 area still has yet to be tested here. And that's basically an interesting area there of that area of support. Who else is here? Swanson, what's up, Peak? Dan Piero, A. Ramsey, Rod but the clock. So what are we seeing here? It's a little hard. So all right, if you've missed this move, if you let's say you were sleeping like most of America was when this move just happened to happen here, and you're trying to figure out kind of how to play this and what to do next. Obviously it's hard to basically buy into an $800 move in a I guess we're on a 12-hour candle, right? We just about an hour into our 12-hour candle there. So how do you go long into an $800 move already in Bitcoin? How do you go long into a 16% move in a lot of these altcoins here? Personally, I don't think you can. I think at this point here, you kind of have to wait and see what kind of a retrace we get if we get a strong one here. This upper wick resistance here, I mean, remember, we're still $300, a little more, $400 here, off where we previously topped out in our day so far. So it's already been kind of a decent pullback from that 5K area there. Ideally it would have been awesome if we could just hold that area there, but we're still seeing, as Bitcoin is strong, those money flow into the majors at least be strong. I brought up cryptocurrency market cap here. Since it's daytime, I can go to my daytime here, get rid of these stupid ads here, and just look at this cranking here. All these, look at up, everything ran and everything pulled up by Bitcoin's price action here. Now look at our volume, just immense volume here. If we can load, come on. Looks like everybody's trying to load CoinMarketCap, huh? Oh, what a piece of shite. There we go, historical data. All right, so the past couple days here, we've been ranging about $10 billion, which has been very strong. And now today's volume is at $16 billion USD. Almost 60% higher daily volume than we've seen in quite some time. So definitely this money was here. And this was the money that the short squeeze can definitely pump into the market. Bitcoin dominance still at 51% here. I think we rose a couple ticks, right? We were on the verge of 50-50, 50% Bitcoin, 50% altcoin market cap. And now we climbed just a little bit higher there, but we're definitely still seeing the money flow into those altcoins. Overall 24-hour Bitcoin total market volume, $57 billion. So definitely some crazy money flow into that as we're hovering around the $4,700 area. Now, we have our extension and we kind of see where we are now. So let's talk about some ideal retracements. Kind of our area here. It's a little subjective as to where we can really draw our Fibonacci retracements. If we just use our basic, most recent swing low, which happened on this candle here, 3655, we can see where we're literally sitting right above our 236 support area there, and this is basically a very bullish retrace that would be held here ideally. And what's very interesting here is, if you note, our golden pocket is right at the 4200s, which would correspond with a very strong back test of our neckline that we broke right through. So it means Bitcoin kind of dropping another $500 in the next day or so? Probably not. But as we play out this week, we really want to see if the bulls can either retest our 5100s once again, or if a longer corrective pattern here needs to happen, just because of how quickly this move took place. It's going to take days, in some cases longer, depending upon the price action here, to bring back, everything from the Bollinger Bands to tighten them up again, to bring lower our RSIs under the 90s. We have them so high here on our higher time frames. So it will take some time here to basically get that kind of coming down here, and that's the thing that we have to keep an eye on there. Now, if you were shorting, if you started to pull shorts when we were above 5K, I think that's a valid entry. I mean, just to shoot $1,000 in the price action of Bitcoin, there's obviously going to be a retracement there. And another test here of this 5Ks, I can definitely see people trying to load into shorts there once again, just because of how strong the area of resistance should be between 5K and as high as, $5,200 to $5,300 there. So this could be a short laddering zone just because of all those resistances there. And I have to note, go back to my weekly chart here, just about if we go back in time here and we actually see this area again. There's a lot of history of resistance at 5K turns support at 5K. So we just back tested 5K in the fastest way possible, basically jetting up 1,000 points there. And after 7 weeks of bullish momentum here, after blasting up to the 5K, testing it, as a potential area of expansion, finding that initial resistance there, and that it's so early in our week and our month, it's going to take us several days here, I think, to really play out here. I don't think there's any rush here, to be quite honest, for the bulls or for the bears yet to make a decisive play. The short squeeze already happened. Okay, that fuel, that short squeeze fuel there, it's already gone because we already had that move, and now because of that, we're just not going to see that NOS, that gasoline accelerant in any kind of a future move here until we get those ratios of shorts a lot higher there. So for Bitcoin price action to move up now, it has to be more retail driven and more organic than just using it as the short squeeze to basically jettison this price action so much higher there, because that's basically over with. For me, it's hard to see this blasting back to 5K with ease, because a lot of that fuel has kind of already been spent, I feel, in this basically explosive move here. So guys, listen, about 40 minutes here. I just wanted to come into you guys. I was live about 2 a.m. this morning when I was just happened to check my phone. It's funny, I look at my phone right here at 4120, and I'm like, oh, we're beginning to drift higher there. And then I looked at my phone like 5 minutes later, which I really shouldn't have, and then all of a sudden we were at like $4,700 there. And then the last 5 minutes of that was like $5,200 there. So just an amazing move here. Congrats if you've basically been staying long in this market here, more or less across the board. Quite a morning to wake up to here to see this expansion, and then the fact that we're still holding a very bullish stance, as we speak here, even on this retrace. But as I said, a lot of the fuel in this move potentially has already been spent. So today's Tuesday. We still have some time here, and I just want to I talked about the shorts there and that short squeeze. Bitcoin longs rose a little bit into that for sure, but are not really exploding into that price action there. Now we can definitely get a long squeeze for sure. It's been a while since I've had one, but we can definitely see that happen there. But I honestly, I'd like to see that the longs get a little bit higher and kind of take them kind of by surprise, but for now, they're really not loading with vigor, you could argue, into this move here. And actually what we're seeing is, for anything loading up here, some altcoin shorting, but most of our shorts, like if you were short Litecoin, look at the Litecoin shorts, the Neo shorts, the Ripple shorts. I mean, Ripple short down 60%. So a lot of those shorts were basically just completely annihilated here. And that was that fuel that pushed us that kind of extra piece of the puzzle there. And look at our volatility on our BitMEX volatility. Wow, have not seen that move since, back in December. So this one was a very bullish volatile move. Our December move was a very bearish volatile move there, and that's definitely the possibility that we can we were watching for, as we were so low on our volatility index there. So let's just finish up here with a little more Bitcoin here. So what did we talked about? We talked about currently retracement, finding support at the 236. We found our overall extension of our bullish move here, brought us to a 1617. Look it's crowding out. 1618 1617, my old phone number. 1617 1618 extension here of our initial impulsive wave, which would be a clear place to basically find that resistance, and that is definitely something of note there. Yeah, SS Swartz, good point there. The NVT, I had the NVT up, and then freaking TradingView just like cranks it up. So this is NVT. This has something to do with basically it's about transactions based off of a 90-day rolling average, and this has basically called many tops in Bitcoin's price action. The only caveat with that is that these topping periods can take a while here. We basically were in this topping range here of our NVT, basically through October, through many months here. So just because we're now in the red move here of our NVT does not necessarily mean here that the top is today or tomorrow. We have a tighter history here back in December of 2017, which actually did mark Bitcoin's bullish top off, literally to the penny here. But this, and then our February 3rd bottom there, actually February, was it 5th or 6th there, that major pop from Bitcoin 6K all the way back up to almost 100% move there, almost up to 12K there. So this area, again, we are in this topping zone, but we can definitely be in this area for quite some time here. So lastly here, let's just acknowledge here just a incredible move here of Bitcoin's price action. Altcoins here have, especially the bigger ones, have fueled this fire, pumping Litecoin to almost 70, Bitcoin Cash to almost 200, Ethereum in the 150s there, and overall total Bitcoin market cap and crypto market cap just exploded, by billions of dollars in this move there. So with that, guys, thank you for joining me today. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoy my content. We'll keep you guys posted on this crazy Bitcoin price action as we go through the day here, and just kind of be measured in this move here. If you missed this, don't chase. I would not recommend buying into a $600, $700, $800 move in Bitcoin in such a short amount of time here. This really needs to settle. When we have seen these big spikes, we definitely need time to settle. And we have not seen a move like this in Bitcoin for quite a while here. So I do expect significant sideways price action until we can basically calm this down and set ourselves up for the next momentum. So with that, it's Big Chonis. You guys are great. Keep you posted. Peace.